Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Exclusive. First up on the bulletin, we're going to remind you how this year, during the annual India Parade in New York, Indian pride was on full display. You can see the visuals there on your screens. Thousands of people participated in the parade. But even before the parade, a controversy has erupted over the inclusion of a float of Ram Temple by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad of America. You can see the visuals you'll be able to see of the Ram Mandir float as well. Now, groups representing the Indian American Muslims call the Ram Mandir float anti-Muslim, an attempt to conflate Hindu nationalist ideology with Indian identity, even though India is a secular country. Now, in a detailed response, the World Hindu Council of America has slammed the Indian American Muslim Council, calling the float anti-Muslim and how it is an attempt to perpetuate Hindu phobia amongst people who are peace-loving. In fact, let's get you the voices coming in.
Sir, in NY India Parade now, a float has drawn criticism in which Ram Mandir was being shown, as the civil groups have raised certain questions and saying that this is anti-Muslim tactics which is being used there.
If one side has the right to take out such processions, the other side also has a right to protest.
ये अमेरिका की एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, वो जो इस बात को उठा रही है, वो किस मकसद से उठा रही है, उसके पीछे कौन कौन लोग हैं, क्योंकि ये मुद्दा को हुए भी कई साल हो गए और उसका सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आ गया। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जिस तरीके से फैसले दिए, तमाम उलमा इकराम ने उस पर अपनी राय रख रखी है और उसमें कोर्ट ने एक फैसला दिया जो इंसाफ के विरुद्ध था। उसको इंसाफ के खिलाफ कहा जा सकता है, लेकिन हिंदू मुस्लिम के खिलाफ उसको नहीं लिया जा सकता, क्योंकि हर मजहब में बहुत सारी चीज़ें, हर मजहब के मानने वाले लोग हैं, हर मजहब में बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो कॉमन हैं। इसके मतलब कि मजहब जो हैं आपस में नहीं लड़ते।
जब जो व्यक्ति का आक्रमणकारियों के साथ, बाबर के साथ अस्मिता जुड़ी होगी ना, उनको तकलीफ होगी। जो राम को अपने पुरखा मानते हैं उनको कभी तकलीफ नहीं होगी। विरोध करने वालों की वृत्ति से पता चलता है कि वो कहने के लिए इंडियन है पर वो इंडियन नहीं है, क्योंकि भारत के साथ अस्मिता जुड़ी होनी चाहिए। आपका धर्म मजहब कोई भी हो सकता है, पर आपके पुरखे थोड़ी बदल सकते हैं।
अगर अमेरिका में कोई झांकी निकली है और उसके अंदर मंदिर का वहाँ के ऊपर उन्होंने जो है उसको निकाला है मंदिर को, तो इसमें कोई हर्ज की बात नहीं है, क्योंकि बाहर हर आदमी अपना धर्म, अपना मजहब, अपना कल्चर शो करता है ताकि लोगों को पता चले कि ये हमारा धर्म है, ये हमारा मजहब है। और इस तरीके की चीज़ों को अगर जो कोई मुस्लिम संगठन जो हैं वो इशू बना रहे हैं, तो उनको इशू बनाने से पहले ये सोचना चाहिए कि अगर कोई अपने धर्म का प्रचार प्रसार कर रहा है तो आपको किसने रोका है? अमेरिका में आप भी अपने धर्म का प्रचार प्रसार कीजिए।
Well, in fact, let me go across to Ankur Vaidya. He's joining us from the Federation of Indian Associations in New York as well as New Jersey. Thank you so much, Ankur, for joining us live from New York. You must explain to us, as you know very well, that there is this entire controversy. What was your role in the organization of this floaty that we can see on our screens by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad of United States? Because many have said that this is anti-Muslim. It is anti-minority because Ram Mandir itself was a compromise, not a solution.
Namaste, Meghna, and thank you for your time, and thank you for having me on the interview. It was indeed a great event. The parade was a grand success. We've been doing it for 42 years. We take exception to the controversy because we celebrate year after year for past 4 decades diversity. Every religion has their similarities and have the differences. We are proud of our faith. We are very inclusive, but we will not get bullied because of doing something right. And that was the attempt that was made, where the group got united, bullied the government, the local government, and unfortunately, the city and the state participated. We were abandoned by the local politicians. We were abandoned by our sponsors, but we took our stance because we believe in our faith. And if we accept the religious compliments from other religions, they should equally accept when we compliment them with Jai Sri Ram. There's nothing wrong in saying what we're proud about. We're proud of our faith. We're proud of our religion. That's what we very peacefully demonstrated and showcased, more than demonstrated, yesterday in the streets of Manhattan in large number. Over 100,000 people, according to the NYPD estimates, participated.
But Ankur, what exactly were you showcasing? The diversity in India? Because your detractors are saying India is beyond just Hinduism. India is a secular nation. Why not show and represent floaties from other religions as well? And there are several others. You have Muslims, you have Jains, you have Sikhs, and you have Christians, amongst many others. Why only celebrate Hinduism, is their question, instead of secularism?
So two things, Meghna. I urge you, and I urge whoever is saying we do not celebrate the other religions to take a preview of the last 25 years of parades that have happened. And if you can find one parade where we had less than 6 religions represent, we will stop doing the event from next year. This is a smear campaign against one community, specifically done to bully us from not having what we believe strongly, which is our faith. We believe the Ram Mandir is a symbolic landmark for the Hindus, and we do not condone any violence. We do not condone any religious hate. Equality for all, inclusivity for all, and diversity should be celebrated. While we say that, no place of worship, not for Hindus and not for Muslims, should be destroyed. We cannot change history, but what we can do is we can heal. And what this type of episode shows is that it stops the community from healing when a biased group of people target an organization who's celebrating diversity. If you see, there were 40 floats. Float number 2 was the Ram Mandir float. The marching group number 5 was the Indian Christians. 3 floats behind were Indian Christians. Marching group number 11 was Jains of India in America. There were Muslim community marchers, the Indian American Muslim community that had a float. We actively, till the morning of the parade, were negotiating with them. We took out the word Ayodhya to accommodate them, and that was not enough. The only push was take the temple float out, and we refused to bow to bullying.
This is interesting because you are saying that this was about inclusivity and diversity. The charges that have been leveled against you is that this was vulgar bigotry and religious supremacy. You mentioned that you were being bullied. Who are trying to bully you? Because it doesn't seem to be a one-off incident. You seem to be drawing from the past as well.
We have a 25-year track record, and we're going to take a very stern legal stance now that the parade is behind us. And we're going to talk to the city. We're going to go after the organizations, first requesting a simple apology, stating that the bigotry and the discrimination against our faith and against our community cannot be tolerated.
So you are ready for legal action. But how do you view the entire movement of the Ram Mandir? Because that has been the pointed, targeted strike that you've been facing. Is it only about the Ram temple, or do you think this is a larger agenda, a larger narrative which is being created and being pushed a lot through social media as well, pushed about Hindu supremacy?
So, Meghna, let me ask you this. If you look at the 15-second clip of the Ram Temple marching Madison Avenue,
yes, we have it on our screens.
Do you see that as a symbol of hate? What is there to see as a symbol of hate? What does an 8-foot by 8-foot by 16-foot miniature version of a religious symbol of a community that is peacefully marching and chanting slogans, not a single episode? There is parades that have gunshots. There's parades that have alcohol flowing down the streets. There's parades that have 16, 18 arrests that happen in New York City year after year.
Absolutely.
But they are peaceful parades, and a peaceful group of about 1,000 people behind the Ram Mandir, 1,000 people. The parade had over 100,000+ people. The Ram Temple float had 1,000 people. I personally was there with the organizing group that put together the float with our Hindu community representatives from about 114 temples, multiple organizations, and I saw a peaceful march, a show of unity and discipline, a show of care and respect to others. Meanwhile, the protesters had vulgar displays.
Who are these protesters?
It's in the news. It's a targeted focus to go after the community and a smear campaign against organizations like ours, thinking that they can bully us. And had we allowed to be bullied, they would have not let the Ram Mandir temple float march down Madison Avenue. But we are turning the page here. We are united. The community is going to stand against this bullying.
Well, thank you so much, Ankur Vaidya, for joining us, because one of the biggest takeaways that you have given is why take this float of the Ram Mandir out of context to project it as being Hindu supremacist. Instead, look at the entire rally which has been organized. There were Jains who were part of it, there were Christians who were part of it, and there are several organizations which were associated with them, and several other religions also. This was an inclusive parade of what really India stands for. Well, Ankur Vaidya, best of luck with it. Of course, you are now saying that you are prepared for a legal battle first across in New York. Best of luck for that. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out in the courts of US. But with that, we're going to be slipping into a short break. Thank you so much for watching.